Freedom has always been my number one value. And for a long time, I think it has been also my biggest obstacle because whenever I was feeling stuck or disappointed in a situation, I realized I had the same feeling over and over again, which was actually related to the frustration of not feeling free in that situation, not having the freedom to create, not having the freedom to move, not having the freedom to think differently. All the anger and frustration I was always feeling came back to the fact of feeling trapped. And ultimately, it came back to the fact that I was lacking this internal sense of freedom. And this feeling built up slowly. The frustration and anger came back once in a while until I really took the time to dive deep. And during a meditation, I really could pinpoint the fact that it was the sense of freedom that I was missing in my life, in my decisions, to really get out of this frustration or disappointment that I was feeling sometimes. And there was a moment that I really decided profoundly to start shifting things around and to start looking at everything through the lens of I am free. I am free to choose. I am free to move. I am free to see my story in a different light. I am free to reinvent myself. I am free to change things in my business. So, if this is something that you have been experiencing right now in your life or in your business, I really want you to make this powerful shift today to remember that you're truly free. You're truly free to change everything in your life. So, the first question I want to bring to you is what made you forget that you were free? Because we never lose our freedom, but we do lose the memory of it. Maybe for you, it's the routine. Maybe it's society's expectation of what your life or your business should look like. Maybe it's an unconscious belief that you inherited from childhood. Or maybe it's just because you've been living life in autopilot and you just forgot to check in with your own inner authority. We forget that we are free when we are too busy surviving. We forget that we are free when we don't slow down enough to listen. We forget that we are free when life becomes a series of shoulds instead of real choices. But the beautiful thing is when you remember you're free, you step back into your power. And not just the power to change your life, to change your business, but the power to change the story that you've been living in. So, what I want you to do is take something that is currently frustrating you right now in your business or in your life and start seeing where you stopped making the choice that you were free, where you feel anger or frustration, because it might really be that it comes from a feeling of forgetting that you're free to choose something differently or forgetting that you're free to give yourself permission to adjust. And I want to tell you a personal story of a time where I chose myself, even though it was really uncomfortable, and especially in my business. I was doing something that I loved, but I knew it wasn't the end goal, that my potential was meant for more, that I was meant for more. But I didn't realize that I wasn't letting myself just make some changes because I was seeing freedom as a consequence of external choices, where I was living, the way my business was operating. I kept on thinking that I wished the outside changed until really one day I realized I was losing my sense of freedom, not because I wasn't in control of the environment, but because I had chosen a story where I wasn't free of my own choices. And it can look like a simple decision in your life, but it's gonna be an entire turning point. It can open new doors, new ideas, things that you didn't know existed, just by taking back your power and remember that you're free to do things differently, to think differently, to tell a different story. And it really reminded me that freedom is a choice you make before life shows you the results. And that's a really important part. Your freedom is a choice. It is not a guarantee of the results, but is the initial step you take to initiate any kind of change in your life. It can be a simple choice of mindset, it can be a big choice of opening or closing a business, But whenever you lean into your inner authority, you take back your power. And the thing is, we often think that true freedom is going to come when we achieve the results, when your external reality changes, when you make more money, when you reach your goals, when you move to the city you want to live. But the truth is, you can live in the most beautiful place and still feel trapped inside. Or you can live in a place that is currently your environment that is not the ideal one and feel completely free. So freedom doesn't start outside, it really starts with the inside. And because it starts with the inside, when you anchor this energy of freedom in your body, your external reality begins to shift. When you reconnect with the energy of freedom, something magical happens. Your body starts relaxing, your creativity flows back, your intuition gets louder, life starts to feel spacious. So freedom gives you wings, and this is so true in your personal life, but also in your business. And it's not about doing everything you want. It's about realizing that you always have a choice to adjust. You always have options. You always have possibilities. But when we are disconnected from that freedom, not only the emotions of anger and frustration can come up, but the entire nervous system starts to shut down. Your body contracts. You get back on survival mode. Your intuition gets quiet, and your sense of possibilities just start being really small. A contracted body cannot be the vessel for more opportunities, more money in your business. And the moment you soften, you feel free. You become receptive. You start noticing possibilities that you couldn't see before. Your ideas come back, your energy comes back, the flow comes back. So connecting with the energy of freedom is not like a once in a while thing. It's a daily practice. And you can cultivate it through very, very small choices. You can create freedom from tiny decisions every day, such as, what do I want to eat today that will make me feel good? What offer do I feel excited to launch? What rhythm feels more aligned with my energy today? Which client do I want to invite in my program? What feels like the most expensive option for my business? So every time you choose intentionally, you are reaffirming I'm free. So it doesn't matter if it's something big or small, you are connected with your inner sense of authority and your inner sense of freedom. And it always connects you back to yourself. Freedom will bring you back to the sense of individuality, of your essence. And every year I have this ritual of choosing a word. Maybe you do it too, that represents the energy of the year. Last year I had chosen the word magic. And this year, for 2026 upcoming, I really feel the need more than ever to be connected with this energy of freedom. Because when you anchor the energy of freedom, your whole life starts to shift because you see things differently. Things that used to limit you, you actually consciously realize that you can release them. You feel free to be different as well, to change your mind, to try a new strategy for your business, to open yourself up to maybe even better results than what you had foreseen for yourself. And if you know a little bit about human design and you happen to be a manifestor, this is even more important because it's the key that just expands everything in business. For manifestors, is this feeling of freedom. But regardless if you are a manifestor or not in human design, I really encourage you to ask yourself, like, where have I lost my sense of freedom and how this is affecting my life? Because your creativity is never going to come from pressure. It's always going to come up from this feeling of infinite possibilities, of spaciousness. And when we feel truly free, we feel unstoppable. And I always like to use the analogy of water, because when water flows, it's alive, it's vibrant, and our energy is exactly the same. When we feel free, we flow with life, we invite abundance, opportunities, unexpected moments of magic, synchronicities. And when we don't feel free, we become stagnant, we block abundance, we block new doors, we block connections, we basically block our own expansion. So success and money follows the same laws of water. They follow flow, they follow movement, they ultimately follow freedom. That's why healing your relationship with freedom is one of the most powerful things you can do. And when I started reconnecting back with that energy, I felt a sense of aliveness that was so powerful that just expanded everything in my life, including my business. I stopped forcing, I stopped controlling, I stopped trying to predict everything. And instead, I just opened myself to overflow. So, really, the more you connect with the energy of freedom, the more you open up infinite possibilities because freedom is like a portal. So, right now, maybe things look the same to you, but when you start rewriting the story of feeling free, you'll start seeing like so many shifts and you'll experience life in a completely different reality. And everything right now that you feel is a challenge or a frustration in your business, ask yourself, where have I lost maybe my ability to make decisions differently or to change things or to just ask for help or open myself up to doing something different that wasn't by the rules. Just try to get back your sense of freedom to actually change the course of what is no longer right or no longer working for you. And I think it's really one of the most beautiful and powerful emotion that we can feel because it's not just about one tiny decision. It's about living an entire life with this sense of anything is possible at any time. I am free to move. I am free to change. I am free to rest. I am free to try a different route. I am free to express myself in a new way. I am free to let myself see what is on the other side of discomfort. All this sense of freedom, as I was saying before, is going to help you take back your power. And when in life we are in moments that are so challenging and so transitional, as I feel in the collective energy right now, we're transitioning to a lot of new things. Getting back this sense of freedom is just going to be invigorating and it's going to also make us feel more safe and moving forward. So I hope that this spoke to you. Let me know in the comments if right now you feel this energy of freedom that wants to come through, or if you feel in your life that you don't know exactly how to change the circumstance. Let me know how you feel with freedom in this period of your life. I would love to read your comments, and I see you very soon for another video.